Hello, 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 and welcome to Crafty Chris and tonight's Scrap Your Scraps. Tonight I'm going to be showing you how to do layouts using inspiration. So in front of you, you're going to see three different images of what I call inspiration. And they just simply show you a color range. You can use these things for designing your house. You can use them for picking paints in a room. You can use them for doing layouts on a page. Tonight we're going to use them for making backgrounds. So these are non-specific backgrounds, just using inspiration. And so by the end of the night, I hope you'll have three different backgrounds to work from. You can use my three that you see in front of you, or you can go and just type into Pinterest color inspiration and you'll see a bazillion of these things. So I will get started showing you how to think about using these as inspiration starters. I've pulled together, you saw the images at the beginning of the video, so I have pulled together from my binder, which is my medium pieces, the colors from the inspiration. So I have picked in the first, the set that looks like a sunflower, I have picked the bluey green as the background, and then the rest of the colors I've pulled out of my scraps. In the the one that looks like, I can't remember now, the one that looks like has the purples and the turquoises in it. I can't remember what it was. I've pulled the second purple out of that one as my background. And these are all colors. I kind of look for colors that I know I have paper that I'm trying to get rid of. So the inspiration is to help me get rid of those background papers that I maybe will not use. And then the greens one that was showing you lemons and limes, I chose the bluey gray background for that one. And then the rest of the colors I pulled out. And this is, I'm a little light on greens because I tend to use a lot of those in my traveling photos in my holiday, taking vacations, and also my backyard because it's always green back there. So we're going to start one at a time, and I think I'm going to start with the green one first. So I have already pulled out colors that kind of match the greens that are in there. There were 4 greens, I think, in there, but I didn't really have 4 greens of paper to use in order to well, I could maybe split to 4 there. But these are all in the range of the colors that were on there that I can now use to build a background page. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this bluey gray color, and it's very pale. And I've told you before that I prefer using the plain back because I'm not big on the texture. So I'm gonna just try to see, like, this is the largest piece I have, and I think what I'm gonna try to do with this idea is pretty much cover the page as much as possible, doing a mosaic of sorts. And I'm going to challenge myself not to cut the pieces of paper I already have. I'm going to leave them the way they are. They're a combination of patterned paper and plain paper. And, you know, some of them are a little different than others, but they're in that range. So right away I can already see that that might be kind of a cool place for that piece. And I'm going to try to spread the pieces out so that they go from dark to light. And whoops, sorry, I just lost a piece. There we go. Got to see the side of my face there. And I'm just going to move from dark to light. So ultimately, I'm going to end up in the section where the flower is. And I better put these larger pieces in right now. Okay, this is all starting to work good. I'm going to keep some space in between because you do want to see the blue in the background. You just don't want it to be the biggest thing on the page. And you don't have to use all your paper. You can use just some of your paper. And are these, oh, they're slightly different. Okay. So I can use these little guys. And that's a little bit too big. Maybe I can use that one. And these are the lighter ones. Maybe I might trim this one out for here. And I might trim that one out for there. I'm just seeing if I have enough paper to get through. So maybe some of this trimming might fill in a little bit of that so that I can get, I actually think I'm going to put a little guy down there. So I think I have enough paper that I can actually pull this off. I might need something here. Not sure what yet. Or I could go like that and put that there and maybe get a strip to go there. I don't know. We can figure that out after. So I think that I'm going to be okay. It's not going to be as... maybe I want to do this. Yeah, that puts it a little closer. There we go. A little closer. And these guys can be a little closer. And then, yeah, we're really short up there, aren't we? Well, let's see what we get going. So first things I'm going to do is put down the ones that are fitting, and then I'm going to muddle around with the other ones. These two I'm just going to wait for now. But these, I'm liking how these are fitting. So let's get those stuck down. Now some of these I may end up putting pictures right on them, like Matt's, because this one I think is pretty much the size of an 4x6. I'm going to give myself about an 1/8 of an inch of a border around the outside edge. These guys are pretty much the same size. So here I am. I've already pre-cut these, and interesting enough, they are working out. And we're going to give that an 1/8 of an inch border. There we go. Sorry, I have to stand up. Oh, maybe not. There we go. That looks better. Is that crooked still? No, that's not bad. So here we go here. And I'm going to give that an 1/8 of an inch border. Come on, move over. There we go. And I'm going to wait on those two little guys because I don't know what I'm doing here. This one can go up in the corner. And I'm going to give that the same border, about an 1/8 of an inch. Make sure I'm not making it too big. There we go. And this guy I like right underneath. I think I'm going to trim him though because he's throwing off my idea. Although, if I trim him, I still have to trim him. But I may not have to trim him. So let me trim this guy to the same width as this other piece. Whoops. Alrighty, so that's more or less it's just a 32nd under 4.5. So I'm going to trim that down. That was the way I was trimming it, yeah. There we go. I'm going to hang on to that piece. You never know where it can fit in. See if that looks better. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to stick this one down. and it's faded up towards the top. So I'm going to have that go to the lighter paper there. Give it about a 1/16 of an inch. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, now we got to do some playing around. That's a little bit of more than a 1/16 of an inch, but it could fit up in there. And if it fits up in there, this piece could fit in here. I don't like that. That gives a little more to it. Maybe I pull them both into the center. And then this will be cut like that. So we'll leave that corner. And this one, alrighty. So I think I am going to have to go dig into some of my some of my papers. So let me see. If I put this here and that there, and then these two go in there, and this one goes up here with a little bit of a trim. Nope, that's not going to work. So here, and I need that. All of this. See it better this way. So I'm going to need something in here. This is going to get trimmed down, but I need something in here. Okay, so this is where we're going to go to the strips, because I'm going to try and see if I can find a 2-inch strip that is along the same lines of greens. Alright, I found this little piece which I like, and I am just going to shift this here, shift this here, and I am going to put a piece of this in there and a little square of this in there. So I'm liking what's going on here. Am I liking what's going on here? I might just put a little piece of that in there. Okay. So let's see. First of all, this is a little bit crooked, which is going to blow my brain. This I need to come down a little bit. So I'm just taking my pencil and I'm just going to mark where I want to cut. And then I'll get it lined up in my trimmer and cut it in from my trimmer. Okay, put that piece to the side, and now that should fit in wonderfully. Yeah. Okay, so now that I like that, whoo, look at that pink. That was unexpected. Alrighty, so now I'm going to put that so it's 1/8 of an inch, more or less all around. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what I'm doing with those guys yet, but I do have to leave enough room for them. Alrighty. So that means I need to trim right about there. This piece is a little crooked. as well. It's hard to see with this light blue. It's hard to see that edge. Okay. This is a bit crooked. That's what we're going here. Nice thing is that most adhesive tapes, unless they're really permanent adhesive tapes, you can play a little with them within the first 12 hours. So you don't end up, there we go, that's better. This needs to go up a little bit more, because I'm really trying to maintain that 1/8 of an inch look. There we go. Still looks crooked to me. Maybe it's the pattern that's doing that to my eyeballs. I don't know. So I'm going to align it up at the bottom. Yep, that looks better. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're going to leave this 1/8 of an inch on either side. And I got to cut this. Alrighty. So this goes in here. Beautiful. And now I have to cut it off the bottom. You know, these are like garbage pages because they're stuff you would have thrown out. But, you know, why not try to use things up and make something pretty out of them? Okay, that I like in there, but I'm going to put down the flat side. I don't know why. Just because I can. Now, is that the way? No, this is the way. Alrighty. Put that in there. Okay, and we're going to play with these guys. I think I am going to put a small strip of something in there, like that. Except I'm going to use the darker side. Beautiful. These don't seem to be identical. They're not. This is slightly larger, so I'm just going to trim that down. There we go. And now this and this should look a little better. Where's it going to go here? That's going to go there. And this is going to go in the middle. And this is 1 1/4. So we're going to make this 1 1/4. There we go. Alrighty, ready to go on this. Line it up at the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to do this at the top. Line that up with the top and the side. There we go. And my little piece, which I've already lost. There it is. Now you can put this down with glue, or if you're good, you can just put a couple of pieces of tape runner in there. There we go. Now this is thinner from here to here, but I don't mind that because it's like a unit to me. All right. There we go. Just a little bit off. When you start doing these lines and things, it's very, you can start to see when things are off. Alrighty, so now I'm going to turn this around because I think I'm going to move that in there, that there, and then this piece is going to go in here. And I might need a small piece of this. Nope, maybe I'll just put something like that in there. Alrighty, so let's get this down. Oh, this has a very ragged edge, so I'm going to trim that a bit. Must have done that with a dull blade. Don't use dull blades. Don't do as I do, do as I say. That's what I used to hear all the time as a kid. All right. I can feel my grand runner there is running out because it's getting stiff. That means it's getting near the end. Alrighty. Okay, we've got that. This little guy is going to go in here, so I'm just going to measure him out and trim him. Okay, and he's going to go in there like that. Beautiful. And go. Now, this is only 1 inch by 1 inch. Now, you think that I'm anal about this right now, about keeping scraps and things, but I'm no longer doing inches by inches because they're just too darn small. The smallest amount of paper I need to keep is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, unless it's a strip. Like this I would keep. This I would not. But I would try to use it in whatever it is I'm working on at the time. So yeah, I've reduced my expectations around that considerably. Yeah, I'm going to need a little piece in there. Alrighty, now, so I want to trim this at that point. So I do change over time. There we go. But look at all this paper I'm using up. Like these were things that were just sitting there. Now I am going to put a strip of something there. Yeah. Now this has absolutely no preconceived idea except that I'm using the inspiration from the images you saw earlier. So this isn't like a layout in that there is a formula or anything to it. It's just using what is in front of you and creating something from that. So there isn't really any kind of instructions I could give other than just have fun. All right, now this is getting a little bit big here. Why? Because it's not quite an eighth. There we go. That's better. It looks so much bigger there. I might have to. Sorry, niggly piggly. That's what takes up all the time, is being perfectionist. So let's stop. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put a little piece of this green, just a little strip of it, right there, so that it fills up that space, because that space is just a bit too big. And I am going to move, maybe not. I'm just going to center it on this piece. And draw my line. And I'm going to line it up on there, move it over, line it up again. There we go. Now this I'm using glue on. Doesn't matter what you use, but I use a pen glue because this is so small. And you just go down the center because it's going to have something put on top anyway. And like I said, this may be all moot because there might be a photo that completely covers it when I go to do it. But until then, it's, whoa, shifting around. There we go. And I think I have to move that a little because I'm noticing that that is not centered so much. Ah, my glue came off. Gotta glue that again. I glued the side that was textured, so it didn't, it all fell into the textury holes and nothing stuck on top. That's one of the problems with textured paper when you're using the opposite side. Okay, just hold that for a minute. It's supposed to be quick dry, so I'm hoping that it is what it says it is. There we go. That looks straight, more or less. Now this guy has to, actually, everybody has to shift a little bit. Okay. Let's see if that looks better. There we go. There, and I just need one little square, 1 inch square for there. So I'm going to take 1 inch off of here. You take your inches off the longest side, left to right. So you still have a fairly large piece left. And you're not wasting. All right. And let's see. Yeah, that's just a little too small. Garbage. You saw it here first. And I still have paper left over. Look at that. So this little guy is going to go. Oh, look at that little guy. He's fun too. Could we get away with one that is totally different? Yes, we can, because that's the surprise at the bottom of the Cracker Jack box. People will go, oh, I wasn't expecting that on that page. All right, and there you have your one page ready to go. And now all you have to do is figure out what you want to use it for. Put your photos on. You can even put your photos right on the page here. But look how pretty that is. And that was a horrible piece of cardstock that I didn't like the color of and a bunch of scraps. So that's number 1. Now we're going to work on number 2. This is the one I can't remember what it was. Okay, so I have dark burgundy purple. I have medium purple, which kind of is about like that, maybe a little darker. This we're going to put away later because we're going to keep that. And then I have this really ugly pattern, but it totally goes with the color line. And then I have some plain that is dark like that. And then I have a little stripe and a little bit of pattern there. So we're just going to play these out. There's my mediums. Actually, I'm going to put these across the top. So there's my darks, there's my mediums, and here are my lights. It's a medium. That's a light. I think I had 4 blues there, so this may be in between the 2. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to work with my big pieces first. And I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to do alternating. So this is my dark color. So I'm going to try to work from my dark to my light in the center. Let's see if I can work that out. So there's some dark. And then let's just leave these for a minute. It's really light. It's not even really the color, so I'm going to keep that to the side if I'm desperate. How are we doing here? That can work. This can work. All right, so these pieces are a little bit big because I don't really want that much of this pattern. So I'm going to take one of these out. And now I'm going to pull one of those into the center, maybe this larger one. And then I'm going to move these darker ones a little bit closer. Actually, I don't want that, I don't think. I like this peacock reference here. Actually, I'm going to change this around, so I'm turning this all upside down for a minute because I want this light one in the bottom. It's really, even though it's not dark, it is. It really catches your eye, so that I might end up putting a photo in. All right, now let's. So that's the darks. I have a few more darks, but I want to get some mediums on here. These guys kind of measure at about the same size. And let's look at our lights. Too big. I love this stripe, but I might have to use a piece of it. Oh, that works there. This is our dark. Oh, right. I'm going into the center. Okay, I might have to trim that up a little bit. Okay, ooh, I've got a couple of these. They can always go in a corner somewhere and fill a spot. There we go. And now let's throw a little floral in there. Okay, but I need some more. I think I'm going to put that there. And then let's put one of those in there. And that in there. It's too close, isn't it? That color is too close to the background, so we're going to take that out and put those to the side. So how are we going to do this now? I think I'm going to move that one over there. Can I put this one there? That one there. I don't really like this because what's happening is because I only have two in that color range, I think I'm going to change my plan and try going dark to light again. Seems to work the best. So let's go dark to light again. So that's medium, this is dark, this is kind of lightish. That's medium. These are dark. Okay. Actually, is that bigger? No. Alrighty. Do you love my peacock stuff? And then got some medium. Might trim this down a bit and squeeze in some medium up there. Getting the whole thought process today. Now we're going to squeeze in some light. Even though that's a snowflake, it's going to fill in that section nicely. I might have to put a strip of something. Okay, how are we doing here? I can put a couple of little light guys in there. Maybe this is too big for that area. Get the other one. It's slightly smaller. And put that in there. That fits a little better. There we go. Alrighty. Now, this guy, that's too thick. So this guy is here. This guy is here. Get that 1/8 of an inch going. Or less. It's not going to fit quite right there. And it doesn't really fit quite right there. But we could make it fit. Narrow it down a little. There we go. And we could put something in there to break it up. There we go. Get back up to that. We're going somewhere up there. No. This could go somewhere up here. Let's do it this way. And then we can have some a variety of some colors in there, but larger. I wonder if I can do 3 in there with a very narrow. There we go. Very narrow. That might work there. I love this stripe. Do I want to put that stripe in there? It would fit. Oh. Do I put this stripe here? And that stripe and that snowflake there? No. I think we're going to keep it like this. And we're going to put this guy here. That guy fits there. These are smaller. There we go. And we can do, no, these are all smaller. So we're going to do you this way, because that lines up with that. And we can just trim that one there. let's see. I really feel like I need this stripe on there somewhere. Maybe across the top there. Okay. A little piece of stripe there. And then let's see where we're going after that. Oh, if I put that down, because it has to go from top to bottom. But I could move this over here. And that over there. No, then it's still not going to work there. Alrighty. It's going to be a little wider right there, but I might center that a bit so you don't notice it. Okay. Okay, so in this section, I've just speeded up the video a little bit because I don't think you want to watch me glue everything down at real time. Just notice that I am putting pieces down pretty much in the way that I had them laid out, but I'm making small adjustments, trimming things to fit a little better if I notice that they're maybe not allowing enough of a border. And I also make sure my edges are nice and crisp. So if there's a little bit of furriness at the edges, like in this image, I will just trim that furriness off. And if things are not working out in terms of how I'm laying them out, I will adjust them slightly too. The other thing that I'm doing here is I am using my actual page to do my measuring as opposed to using a ruler, where I measure the page, then I measure the item, and then I mark the item, then I put it in the cutter, and then I put it back on the page. It's much easier just to place it on the page and draw the line and then cut. So that's what I'm doing here as well. And I've added that last very flowery darker purple piece in just to give a little bit of contrast because everything was looking pretty monochromatic. And I think it all kind of works out in the end. In this next section, I'm just finishing up the little bits and pieces just to fill in some of the larger gaps to make it a little more balanced. And you can see that I'm just using the paper again to do these measuring bits and trying to cut my larger pieces in a way that I will be able to retain some of the leftover paper from my scraps. That piece goes in there and we're done. Okay, so let's turn this around and take a look at where we are. And there's our finished layout. Again, figure out what you want to use it for, and then you can use some of the mats for actual photos, and the rest is just design. So that's number 2. Alrighty, let's go for the final page layout. This one is the sunflower page layout. I have my dark reds, I have my medium reds, and I have my oranges, and you can see there's lots of dots and hearts. And here's some black that's plain black, and they're kind of 2 different tones. One is like a deep black, and the other one is like a not deep black. And this has some of the medium color in it, and I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. So we've gone dark to light mostly in this direction. The last one kind of was weird because it was the dark color in it, but it wasn't really the dark base that we were playing with. So I think I want to start with this guy right here. I want to avoid plain black because I don't mind putting it in here or there, but I want to have some kind of pattern to break things up. So there's black, and then the next color coming from that, I have a lot of the same sort of red, and thinking in terms of possibly using these as paper or as mats. Let's see how we can play this out a little bit. Maybe 2 small ones there. One there. Not quite small enough. I think that's as small as they go, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, that one's small. I can put that one there. I'm going to turn it upside down so I don't. Got to turn this upside down. Sorry, folks. Because I don't want that texture. There we go. Now we're going to be easy peasy gluing. All right, there we go. And we have one of these guys that's going to go there. And I might have to trim one of these down to go in there because it looks a little bit odd having them two different sizes. So we'll play with that a little bit. And maybe we'll just trim two that are the same size down so they fit in that spot. Ah. See, if I don't cut them all at the same time, they can be slightly different. You know what? We'll just figure it out. There we go. That fills the spot. Just need to trim them a tiny bit. All right, there's our dark reds. Now let's play into our medium red. That seems to fit perfectly. And then we have don't want to put too many dotty things together. So that looks like fun. And then we have our light orange. What about one of these up here? There we go. Maybe some of these little flowery bits here. And then some orange there, and some orange there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where'd the orange go? There it is. Okay. I think this one is going to go there. And that one is going to go there. Oh, that one is going to go here. Is that going to all fit on the page? Yeah. Ugh, I don't like that. I think I like this here. And then I liked a plain orange here because that looks like it's all fitting pretty good. So I might, I'm really liking this print. It's really pretty. I might trim that to fit in there. This is now not fitting, so maybe I need to add a little bit of black. And of course I'm going to have to trim these up. Let's see. That's too big. So they need to be this height. And I need 3 that height. That one's too small. That one's a little too big, but I can trim it down. And what else do I have in here? Oh, I might have some already cut. Ooh. There we go. So those are fine. That's fine. That goes over. So maybe, I know. we're going to shift this up and put these here. Alrighty. And let's see what else we can play with here. These are kind of light, but they will work because they have that color in them. Maybe I just do I have a whole piece that is the same. I don't have a piece that's the same width. Of course! Is that the same width? No. But why? But why? But why? Okay, so I'm going to put a piece that's this up at the top there. And I think these are the same. Oh, no, they're not. So this piece, but it's a side piece because the grass has to grow in the right direction, right? There we go. And that's going to have to go there. That's going to be trimmed down. And this funny little orange, but there is orange. Maybe I'll switch this orange out for here. Maybe I'll switch this orange out for here. And then get that orange for there. This is not working for me. We're ditching it. Or maybe it is working for me and that's not working for me. That, I think, might be the case. One, two, three. It's likely I will trim this to match those three. And then we can add maybe a little bit of that down there. I've got some of that there. It's on the back of this. Brown. Don't want brown. Maybe we'll put 2 more of those up there. Or we can switch and push that up there and put 2 of these, smaller ones, obviously. 2 of these here. I think we have a plan. I like that writing. All right, so let's get the rest of this stuff out of the way. I think that we have a plan here. So now we just have to do some trimming and fitting to make sure that we're happy with everything. We don't have, oh, maybe, oh. Is that better down there? Or just, that just confused things. Because I could put all 3 of those there. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to do it. I think I am going to do it. Because they just look like they need to live there. And then this can go in there. And that can go there. Yeah. Done. Everything else goes bye-bye. Okay. See how, like, I can be set on one thing and then the next thing you know, I'm changing my mind again. Okay, so again, we're just moving this part of the cutting and pasting part through quickly so that we can move on to the end and see what our 3 projects were for the evening. And just a reminder that you're working with your materials, you're trying to make them fit as best you can. It's easier to trim off than try to make extra little strips. So when you're planning your pages, work with your biggest ones first and get as close to a finished product with your biggest pieces as you can, so that you don't have to get into really minute little situations. And sometimes you just have to leave a particular piece of paper out that, you know, doesn't fit in. It happens. And so if trimming down isn't going to work for you, then you may have to just abort that piece of paper and try something else. Now you just saw me cut two pieces of paper use two pieces of paper in my cutter at the same time. So what I did there was I took one piece that I wanted the size of, and I put the larger piece beside it, and I made sure that the piece I wanted was right at the edge of the cutter, and then I was able to slip the other piece matching the side of that piece and do the cutting quickly, and the two pieces became the same size. So that's all that was, and otherwise it's pretty much, here we go again, we're doing that same thing with the little blacks, and that's it. We're measuring with my using the piece rather than using a ruler. And you can see these little skinny pieces, although they look okay in this particular layout, they may not look that great in all layouts. Alrighty, last piece. And here it goes, right in there. Ta-da! And there's our finished background. All right, let's see what we've done today. So we started off with our yellows, with the dark in the bottom corner going to the light. Then we had a bit of trouble with this one because this piece, which is a great piece if you put something on it like a photo, because you don't really notice it as much, but it does have some insanity going on right now. So that being covered up with a photo in it, and that's our second layout. And then this was our third layout, going in the opposite direction from dark to light. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's Scrap Your Scraps. Please make sure to drop in next Thursday, and we'll see what we're working on then to use up all that extra product. Bye now.